February 19th, when coronavirus pandemic made landfall in Nigeria, efforts have been continuously geared towards prevention of spread, especially at community level. Women, as indispensable component in the growth and development of any society, can in no small measure make positive impact in the fight against COVID-19. With a pivotal role in the family, health, and well-being of the children, women can play first-level approach in teaching children about COVID-19, protocols ahead of the measures before the reopening of schools. Our focus this afternoon on Panorama is on women as game changers in winning the war against COVID-19 through awareness and safeguarding the family and society from the silent and invisible enemy of mankind. I am Abubakar Muhammad Musa. As of 9th June 2020, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed 663 new cases of COVID-19, bringing the total to 13,464. A breakdown of the new figure indicates Lagos has 178, Ogun 108, Bauchi 69, Ebonyi 59, Edo 33, and Rivers 30. Others are FCT and Jigawa 26 each, Delta 20, Anambra 17, Gombe and Kano 16, Imo 15, Abia 14, Borno and Oyo 11 each, Plateau 8, Kebbi and Kaduna 6 each, Ondo has 4, Niger and Katsina 2 each, while Oshun, Ekiti, Kwara and Nasarawa have 1 case each. Total number of discharged is now 4,206, while deaths stand at 365. There is an ongoing community transmission of COVID-19 in Federal Capital Territory, with confirmed cases across the 6 area councils between the 1st to 7th June, standing at 220. With the reality, FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello summoned a community stakeholders meeting in Abuja with a call on 2 council chairmen, traditional and religious leaders to commence massive sensitization in their domain. Shaibu Onoze Yakubu tells us more.
An overview of COVID-19 in the FCT, epidemiologist with the Public Health Department, Dr. Doris John, put in perspective the distribution of cases by area councils between 20th of March to 7th of June 2020. She says within the period under review, the total number of confirmed cases stands at 228, with AMAC recording the highest number. More worrisome is the result obtained between 1st to 7th of June this year, which reveals the alarming rate of community transmission of the virus in the territory. FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello says with this reality, there is the need for proactive measures from community leaders.
What we now need to do is for us to take on responsibility. And I must mention here that the onus of spreading the information on COVID-19 at the grassroots levels.
The decisions that we are having to make will not be easy. We have to make compromises in terms of how we live our lives normally. We need your leadership more than ever before.
The virus has escaped. It has escaped into the communities. The only way we can stop this is to work very closely with you to push through the issue of education and knowledge about how to protect ourselves and our communities.
The first COVID-19 case was recorded in the Federal Capital Territory on the 20th of March this year. Shaibu Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Since the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency, PPPRA, announced a new petroleum retail price band of 121.50 to 123.50 for oil marketers for June 2020, the issue of implementation has become a challenge, key players say. This is not unconnected with the fact that petrol and petroleum products don't just fuel vehicles for movement, but also fuel the economy of oil-producing nations like Nigeria. Lydia Sampson, in this report, monitors the level of compliance with the price ban for the month of June.
Obviously, the continuous reduction of petrol pump price by the federal government is not just a welcome development for motorists, but a financial relief. This, they agree, is due to the balance gained from the usual transaction.
When the price of the crude for the government also reflect it in the retail price, so at least it's encouraging and at least keeping our spirits alive. That the government is saying, the government is thinking about the masses.
This motorist is not alone in his sentiment. Many of them say they are always very happy to spend less to top up their vehicles. They also commended the availability of petroleum products, stressing they are aware of stations with pump integrity and don't mind driving the extra mile to get their money's worth.
The fuel has reduced. We trust God that it will also impact positively on the economy.
Normal liter, 123.5 liter. It's okay, no wahala.
We thank God because before we are buying fuel 145, so now the fuel is 123.
For me, I really don't know, but I know there are a lot of conversation around the reduction in price.
And I bought 7,000. In fact, I did not even exhaust the 7,000, and the tank is already filled up.
On the issue of implementation, marketers say it is simply for them to sell between the price band, and in confirmation, most of the petrol stations visited in Abuja metropolis are selling at 123 naira 50 kobo per litre.
Time there's any change in price, we are forced to change immediately. That's the rule by the company.
Although most of the petrol stations visited within Abuja metropolis have complied to selling within the new price band, the same cannot be said of the outskirts and even states. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Lydia, one of the measures sustained by many states to curb the continuous escalation of the coronavirus pandemic across the country is the ban on interstate movement that has remained enforced. Jadwa John Jesney, in this special report, takes a look at the level of enforcement denying entry or exit from Maiduguri by passengers and other non-essential vehicles on the major link connecting Borno to the rest of the nation.
This is the Maiduguri Gate, located at Jimtulo village, which is the major entrance and exit route from Borno State. The connection is central considering security risk associated with other interstate links as a result of the insurgency. It is a standing order that no vehicle should be allowed to cross the boundary except those conveying essential goods and commodities. Security operatives did their best, ensuring total compliance to the ban except those with official travel permits from the COVID-19 response team and other essential travels. Some drivers conveying essential food items, however, lamented over a new order issued by Borno State COVID-19 response team, which they claimed has affected their movement. The Vice Chairman of the Borno State COVID-19 response team, Babakura Abajato, clears the air on the issue and enforcement of the interstate ban, which is still in force.
If it is absolutely necessary for those people who are coming into Maiduguri to come in, you have seen the laboratory where their sample must be taken. They are also taken straight directly to the quarantine service at the Hajj camp here in Maiduguri. The result will determine whether or not they will be allowed to go into the city and mingle with people.
Many people have mind to come into Maiduguri at all costs. So the influx of passengers here is very high. Because within 10 minutes, you can see this area is full with passengers, especially the heavy-duty trucks.
Interstate movement of people accounted for most of the initial cases of COVID-19. Abiding by the various measures put in place by government will minimize community spread of the coronavirus pandemic, especially interstate road closure for non-essential movement. In Maiduguri, Jadwa John Jesney, NTA News.
Very well, Jadwa. Borno State government has launched a program called Heroes and Heroines Campaign to celebrate 137 COVID-19 survivors who are treated and discharged from isolation center. The program, which was part of an effort to promote safety practices in the containment of the coronavirus pandemic, was organized by stakeholders in the health sector in collaboration with the World Health Organization held at Garnam Isolation Center. Pauline Kujevana has the details.
Since the index case of coronavirus in Benue on April 19, the cases drastically increased in the early weeks to more than 250. Today, 137 patients were discharged across the isolation centers after certified negative from the second test. The discharged patients, including health workers, have now become the beacon of reality that COVID-19 is real and can be survived.
Wannan ciwon gaskiya ne, ‘yan uwa mu kare kanmu.
Thank also SCDC for their well commitments toward providing all the necessary and needful to protect the life of our people.
Kurman sambisoro muko matulle, sambisoro ndiro gani ne tada mi aikal, hamo mi aikal, nikla mi aikal.
These heroes and heroines have now joined forces with the State High Powered Committee and other partners to scale up sensitization and campaign aimed at giving people hope and confidence, even as COVID-19 ravages the world.
So while I congratulate you, we'll be talking to the Commissioner of Health on how to see where we can improve and motivate all the health workers in the state.
The Deputy Governor, who is also the chairman of the Borno State Response Team on COVID-19, Umar Usman Gadafar, will echo the need for hygiene practices, use of face masks, and observing social distancing to limit community transmission in the absence of effective vaccine to beat the pandemic.
In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
There is no safer choice for Borno State government to curb the spread of COVID-19 than to make available the option of work from home order for its workforce from grade level 12 downwards, excluding essential service workers. The Nigeria Labour Congress, Borno State, is ensuring its members staying at home stay safe from the coronavirus pandemic. Let's now join Pauline Kujevana for more details.
When COVID-19 was first confirmed in Benue and cases kept rising, anxiety heightened in all the societal segments, which prompted the state government to order significant number of its workforce to work from home as part of measures for the prevention and containment of the spread of the virus. With me is the chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress, Borno State, Comrade Bulama Abiso, who will tell us the impact of the work from home order by the Borno State government and measures taken by members to safeguard themselves.
Yeah, definitely COVID-19 has affected many people, and workers are also people. Therefore, it has affected them economically and both physically as well as working condition. Because level 1 to 12 were asked to work at home, which makes it that people at that grade level are there still at home with their families, though it has opened door to sit along with their families, but they have become redundant at that point.
As a union, what is your contribution for the containment and control of coronavirus in the state?
Our own contribution in that respect is one, the sensitization of all our affiliate workers who went down to their own workers to sensitize them. Two is given directives to all our affiliates to produce face masks, hand washing sanitizers, and give it out to our members. At the center, as a labor, we also produce customized face mask, the one you are seeing now I'm wearing, which we have been giving out to all workers to safeguard themselves in that respect. In addition, we were able to partner with the civil society organization and open up a situation room where we take in problems from our members as well as the public and link them up with the main committee on coronavirus.
It is no longer news that coronavirus is real and it's not a death sentence. Neither it is news that adherence to hygiene practices, social distancing, and use of face masks can keep COVID-19 away from you. But a reorientation on individual and public hygiene will turn the tide of the coronavirus pandemic. It's back to you in the studio.
Thanks for that, Pauline. It is a steady rise in the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria. For some nations that have passed the peak levels of the coronavirus pandemic, new cases are emerging. prevention of spread remains the most acceptable measure for the containment of the disease. Women folk at the center of all developmental processes from the home, family, and community can play a great role in reversing the trend. Accepting COVID-19 is true. Safety measures of continuous hand washing, use of face mask, social distancing, and other health practices are main areas for emphasis. As women championing the cause of protecting the family from COVID-19, it translates to societal safety. With me to discuss the role of women in the fight against COVID-19 is a leading advocate for women development, activist, and civil society campaigner, Mrs. Lucy Yunana Glama. Madam, you're most welcome to Panorama.
Thank you very much, Abubakar.
All right. At the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, how much effort have women groups and societies contributed, to the campaign against spread of the disease?
Women have greatly contributed, but it was not easy. When we have a community that we have our cultural and then community setting where we are used together, eating together, and then hugging and doing some other things. And then by the time we started, we had to go out and start campaigning. And the first point of our call was the GSM market, where we went because of the transmission of using of money from the buyer to the customer and the customer, because you don't know where the money came from. So we went there, provided some hand washing stand, give them soap and water, hand sanitizer, and then from there to them, and then we educated them. Though it was not easy, because even there you find out some people are telling you that they will not do it. They will shake hands. That's only God that is going to protect them. Then from there we moved to the IDPs, where we met some group of women and other men, and then we gave them the soap, and then taught them how to wash their hands with soap and water. In case there's no soap, you have the local ashes where you can use it and clean and wash your hand with it. And then from there we moved also with the Commissioner of Women Affairs, Hajia Zuera Gambo, went to the correctional centers, where we went into we made provision for them with all the preventive measures like the hand sanitizer, soap, and then the hand washing stand. And then when we entered the correctional center, we saw a lot of inmates, and we felt as mothers, and that we should talk to the government to see that there's going to be a kind of discongestion of the inmates. And to God be the glory, we have a governor who has a listening ears. After our visit to that correctional center, some inmates were bailed out based on the degree of their offenses, and they were out of the place. And then we went to the local government, communities within Maiduguri, the market, and volunteers also were trained, about 29 volunteers. The Network for Civil Society trained them, and they went to from community to community, sensitizing people about the pandemic of the coronavirus.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, now, women at the center of well-being and growth of the family. How can this resource be harnessed, in the fight against COVID-19?
The woman is the operational head of the family. The father is a baby to the wife and the children. And it is the responsibility of the mother. Like myself now in my home, every day when my husband is going out, I'll tell him, Daddy, don't shake hands with anybody. And to the little kids, I even taught them a song in the house that coronavirus, wash your hand, we soap and water, COVID-19. My 3-year-old baby now can sing that song. And I think it's very important as mothers. We are the first teachers. We are the ones that have the first contact with our husbands and our children. Their children will be going out, and then they will mix up with other children. So the best thing as a mother, you tell your child, don't go out. And this is the hazard of this COVID-19. COVID-19 is real. Like my little daughters in my community, in my neighborhood, there's this particular girl. When you go to their house, she will ask you, why did you come to our house? She will just hold her hand like this. And then she will tell you that, won't you stay in your house? Don't you know that they say if you move around, you move with the COVID-19. So, this is sensitization that mothers did to their children. The men are going out always.
And she knows that as little as she is.
Yes, she knows that. She will tell you, go back to your house, because if you're moving with the coronavirus, because we don't know how. Yes, so it is the duty and the responsibility as mothers. We are the ones to educate even our husbands, to sensitize our daughters and our boys. Like the boys, they would like going out to play football. These are some of the things that you tell the male child. Don't go out. These days, you don't know who these child parents are. Where is he coming from? So there's hazard in this coronavirus. So it is our duty as mothers to sensitize our husband. Like every day, my husband is going out. I say, Daddy, please, no handshake. There was a time we went for a condolence visit together with him. When we went there, somebody brought out his hand. And I was just watching, and then he just did like this to the person, which, that means he's adhering to what I'm telling him at home. So I'm calling on parents, mothers, that we should intensify this campaign, sensitizing our children and our husband. Every day when he goes out, you tell him that, Daddy, don't do this, don't do that.
All right, okay. That's a beautiful one, I must say. Well done. Okay, before we leave you, Madam, on a final note now, how can we stimulate women as wives and mothers to actively engage in activism in the home and community to curb community spread of COVID-19? Just briefly.
Yeah, as women, we have to sensitize our neighborhood, go from house to house, tell the husbands. We stay under our husband, because by the time you enter into somebody's house, and a woman is the best person that will enter into the house, a man cannot go in. I, as a person, now can go to my neighbor and tell her, please, oh God, please allow your wife, so that we'll go around the community, so that we'll do campaign about this coronavirus, so that we'll not have the spread within our neighborhood. And I think the men will agree, because everybody, coronavirus is real. So there's the need for us to join hands together, both the men and the women, to see that this coronavirus is being tackled with. And then, like now, we are expecting that the children will be going back to school. We are the parents to start telling them what to do.
We appreciate you so much, Mrs. Lucy Yunana Dlama, for being part of Panorama this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time. And moving on now, the United Nations Population Fund has donated personal protective equipment to Yobe State government to intensify the containment of spread of COVID-19 in the state. The items were presented to the relevant ministries of health and women affairs by the UNFPA coordinator for Yobe State, Dr. Humsak Emmanuel. Ladibala reports.
The UNFPA program coordinator, Dr. Humsak Emmanuel Sume, says the intervention is part of its efforts to ensure that healthcare providers at primary, secondary, and tertiary health facilities are equipped to provide quality service to people in the face of COVID-19 pandemic.
So that currently the humanitarian response is, and the response for COVID-19 is a unanimous response. So every partner is putting together to a pool to ensure that we have the central support system for PPEs for COVID-19.
Equipment donated include face masks, sanitizers, hand gloves, and related items is for the first phase. The UNFPA coordinator said more PPEs will be provided in the nearest future. In their separate responses, the representatives of Commissioner, Ministries of Health and Women Affairs who received the items on behalf of the state applauded the contribution of United Nations Population Funds in promoting health issues in the state. The personal protective equipment will be distributed to health facilities, not isolation centers in the state. In Damaturu, Ladibala, NTA News.
The 14th meeting of the Federal Executive Council for the year 2020 is ongoing at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Like the previous ones held virtually, President Muhammadu Buhari is presiding over and joined by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Secretary to the State Government of the Federation, Chief of Staff to the President, and few ministers. Other members of the highest policy decision-making body of the government are participating online from their offices. During the meeting, several memoranda are expected to be considered for possible approval in furtherance of the next level agenda. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that some ministers are also slated to give account of their stewardship to the council. The National Orientation Agency in Borno is on a mission to mobilize urban dwellers and the grassroots population in continuous practice of the virus COVID-19 prevention tips as part of an effort to check the new number of new cases that has kept rising on a daily basis. It is in the light of this that the NOAA, Borno State, embarked on a motorized sensitization campaign across Maiduguri metropolis, targeting public places, traditional institutions, and religious bodies. Jatwa John Jesni reports.
The National Orientation Agency, known for various education and enlightenment activities across the country, targeted community mobilization to bring public up to date on government policies and programs relating to eradication of the coronavirus pandemic. The National Orientation Agency noted that relaxation of the lockdown, one of the measures to manage and contain the pandemic in the state, does not render the state COVID-19 free, as it is still on the increase. Emphasis was placed on regular hand washing, use of face masks, and observing social distancing at all times, in addition to other personal hygiene measures. The agency believes that incorporation of tricycle operators, the traditional institution, as well as religious bodies, among others, in the awareness exercise will go a long way in relating the good intentions of government as regards the existence of the coronavirus pandemic in the state and measures for prevention.
We have structured it this time to capture the issue of the moment, which is the fight against coronavirus. There are several accessible local governments that we intend to cover within the remaining 1 week, inshallah.
We are mobilizing our community from the bottom to the top approach.
The National Orientation Agency is of the opinion that campaigns such as this will go a long way in reminding the people on the presence of COVID-19 as well as the need to minimize its spread across the state. In Maiduguri, Jatwa John Jesni, NTA News.
Talking sports now, Nasarawa State moves to boost sports sector. Tamara Ibiwe tells us more on Sports Update.